What's up, guys? Jughead's Journey here. Welcome back to our Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Today we're going to be watching episode 95, Grudge and Dread. I'm back after a little holiday hiatus. Got through my intro like I never left. So without any further ado, since I'm coming back, it's been a while, made y'all wait. I don't want to waste any more time. Tune in, watch alongside with me during my full uncut reaction, and then stay for my in-depth analysis discussion after the episode. So, Hunter x Hunter, episode 95 in 3, 2, 1. Let's get back into Hunter x Hunter. Let's watch. My memory's not failing me. Knuckle, Morel versus Cheetu. Right here, right now. I would love to see the teacher and his abilities in tandem with his students' abilities and how they mesh and sync and work together. That cloud of smoke with the IRS ability lending his aura against someone that fast who's fast enough to return that aura back. Would his ability even work? Ooh! Couldn't land a hit though. Don't try to hit with the eyes. Let's create a smoke screen with the smoke. Like a N. And that they're taking his hits. First time interacting with real Nen users. Maybe a Chimera Ant who now has the ability to use Nen, but he has no experience or training. So it's going to be a balance. I want to know what is Grudge and what is Dread. Who has the Grudge? GON? And who has the Dread? Is this going to be an episode of two sides where, okay, we have Morel and Knuckle here, and we know from last episode, Shoot and Nav are tailing Gon and Killua, so we're going to get... This is what I'm talking about. Yes. Hide his vision, and also use it as N. Don't look with your eyes, sense with the smoke. If that's how he can use it. And if it negatively affects him too. If it's a... I want to see the extent of the usability of these smoke. Oh, shit! Clone Jutsu. Oh, that's sick. He's using Gyo, but that split-second hesitation where he's not moving to direct his aura to his eyes is enough for them to land a hit. And there he is. And he disappears in the clouds again. And he gets tripped. And now they're about to school this rookie. And he's going to become emotionally compromised. And do even worse. Stay away. Let him accrue interest. Let him accrue interest. Hiding in the cornfields. He's like, who is this? What is this? That's sick. Turning like the Flash. Using Zetsu, let that, yeah. Oh, and it's like a tracking beacon. It's like a homing beacon. Because he obviously knows where APR is. Okay, it'll stop accruing interest. That's interesting. Again, let's go back to how cool it was that the smoke could change into to resemble Knuckle himself. Which would mean that he's manipulating the smoke. That's Shoot's cage. Is this a flashback? Because when were they all together? Oh, never mind. Not a flashback. This is a forward. They don't... Never mind. Cheetu's ran away. Morel and Knuckle have come back to town. And they're all together. I understand. I'm dumb. That just felt... Never mind. Let me go back a little bit. They're all together again. And that's the cage. That Shoot's cage. That I don't know what the hell... What this does. Like, what's in the cage? Why is it rattling? He's no longer the person you once knew. Oh, God. You're not ready. Cure? He's dead. He's a puppet. Hotel Reflection. Once I've done a certain amount of damage, I'm able to trap an entire body or merely a single part inside. Is that what happened to Killua's eyes? I mean, not eyes. Eye? So what if Kite is in there? Oh, no. Kite's entire body is in there. And now he's about to let him out. Oh, like a little bird, like a little finch. And now he's going to come out. Is he still being puppeted? Or is... Whoa. He's about to immediately attack. Oh, he can't use it. No. Dude. And now he grows to regular size. What's his face look like? Yeah, he's a fucking Frankenstein zombie. He's a fucking corpse. Yeah. You see GON's face right there? About to break down? He's a fucking corpse. He's a mannequin. See, talking about, like, he's not a human anymore. He's a tool. He's not real. He's not living. And yet he wants to step forward and approach. GON doesn't care. He's going to approach again. He'll take that punch and another punch and another punch. He's going to walk towards him again. Because that would be GON. Come on, let me see it. Ooh, damn. A different kind of punch, though. That original punch was for care and to teach a lesson. This is just a creature attacking to attack without a mind of its own. Oh yeah, GON can't even use Nen to protect his body. Even though Kite can't use Nen either, so it's just allowing himself to be fully hit. Trying to suppress the instinct to dodge or absorb a blow. This is the reality we've created that we must now face. That is resolve. He knows exactly what's coming, and he's just taking it. Predictable like a machine. This isn't Kite. So don't feel bad. Did he actually calm him down? It activates when anyone touches Kite. You need advanced fighting skills to defeat him now. So they can see the puppeteer. GON can't. We had to wound him pretty bad. GON's optimism to think that Kite's still in there somewhere. And that he can be fixed or cured or brought back when that is not the case. Now let's seal Kite again. You wouldn't believe what the fuck happened. I pulled a needle out of my fucking forehead. They changed us. Resolve, killing intent. The test was determined who would... Ooh, are they going to let him enter? East Gorto, that's where Merowim is. They're coming to NGL with us. Full-grown tigers. Even he's on board. Maybe he sees them a little differently. You don't know GON. This is him without even any nen. This squad right here, I want to see them all fight together. So give him that drive. Give him a boost. Make him explode. To show. Tomorrow Gon's Nen will return. And that palace was in this lush green landscape. Beautiful palace, and this is the rest of the nation. He's being puppeted too. Oh God. Oh! I forget you can see it on TV. I remember that from Heaven's Arena, which makes no sense to me. But that you can see Nen through a TV. Yep, to corral the humans. Who's gonna be food? They said the palace is gonna be the slaughterhouse where where the food consumption is gonna be. Okay, Netsuro's already infiltrated. When he left to see an old friend. Assume the worst if we don't hear from. Okay. Let's hope we hear from him. Speak of the devil? Oh. I forgot about her. Oh! Speak of the devil! Of course he knows. Can't hide anything from that man. So 3 groups of 2, each take a royal guard. And is he gonna go after the king himself? Bye-bye. This voice sounds familiar. Look at this open plaza. A perfect place for Gon to show them what he's got. And Morel stepping forward. Ooh, yeah, make him. I'm still not convinced. You should go home. Leave Kite to us. You can't save him. Pretend I'm the enemy who did that to Kite. Oh my god. Gon's gonna visualize. Yes, show him your job. I know what you got. He's never seen you. The only time he's last seen you, you were passed out under a tree. Oh my god. Like I said, Morel saw Gon knocked out under a tree after Killua carried him out. He just thinks this is a naive, underpowered kid. That's all he knows about him. Does he have the physical attributes, let alone the mental attributes? Let's see that together. Imagine me as the person who did that to Kite. What he wants to see, and what we know GON has now. Killing intent. We know GON will kill a motherfucker, no problem. Especially if it's a mad... Look at... They can sense that killing intent. Sorry to pause when it's about to get hype as hell, but that face right there that he just made, look at that. That looks like Kilo when the assassin mode comes out, when the shadow cast eyes, but this is GON's version. Right there. That worried face right there. He wasn't expecting this level of... Because in your aura and your Nen, you can feel someone's killing intent. And where GON has genuine killing intent, like not just, he told him, don't hold back, don't be weak, I want to see the real you, give me everything you got, and this is what GON is showing. Real killing, like, I will kill your ass. You're telling me to think of you as the person who did that to Kite? So one, the resolve and the killing intent matched with, they have no idea how much aura GON really has. 1 in 10 million. GON really focusing everything. Oh! That animation's sick. Kilo's hand. Stop. Hands in pockets. You showed them. They understand. Look at the sweat. How tense he was. He thought he was about to have to take that punch. He's like... He was really about to kill me. Neither. That's what I love to see. Who's taking GON? GON and Killua together? GON and Killua, Nav and Morel, Knuckle and Shoot? Oh, God. Oh! This. GON and Killua gotta take on Pito. I actually think Shoot and Knuckle have a easy time with Mentha Yuppie if he's literally all brawn. Knuckle and Shoot's ability in tandem, side by side against that, I would love to see them just dominate him. Oh, I can't wait. Let's jump right in. This discussion, beginning with the very first opening seconds of the episode and ending with the very last closing seconds. Let's talk about the fight, Cheetu versus Morel and Knuckle. First of all, one thing I really get tired of from watching other anime and other stories is the insistence on just 1 versus 1 fights, even with other allies and foes around, could be literally just feet away. It just gets really slow and annoying after a while when that's all you ever get. You have these great ensemble character stories, and then for whatever reason, the way it's written, you so rarely see group matchups, team-ups, teamwork, inter-character dynamics when it comes to combat. What I love about Hunter x Hunter is how common and how often and balanced do we see group fighting. We get to see Gon, Killua, Hisoka, Kurapika, each of the Phantom Troop members, each of the Zoldycks, all have their fair share of 1 versus 1 solo fights to really focus on them individually, but the scale is balanced. Because how many times have we seen, say, Gon and Killua fight together against a single common foe or multiple foes? Multiple members of the Phantom Troop fight together. The Zoldycks fight together. And now we've got the chance in just a couple, in a gap of just a couple or few episodes, Knuckle and Shoot, each in their own 1v1 matchups with Gon and Killua to highlight and showcase them individually. We got the hints of the two fighting together against Kite. We'll surely see them fight together more since they're going up against Yuppie together. We saw Morel and Nob use their abilities together, and now we get to see Morel the teacher and Knuckle his student fight together side by side. It's awesome. You get to see the synergy between characters. That's what I love about Hunter x Hunter. You get to see the synergy between characters, whether it's through dialogue and quiet moments, or it's a shonen anime with an ability system, a power system. Let me see the synergy when it comes to combat and abilities and nen and everything. Again, something you don't get to see very often in other stories because other stories insist on solo challenges. You get to see the synergy here between Morel and Knuckles' abilities, master and student, why this teacher is perfect for this student, why this teacher chose this student. Yet another fight as well, displaying a central theme of Hunter x Hunter, wherein every fight, every victory is determined by strategy and planning and understanding over strength or speed or any mere other physical attribute. You know how many times I've ranted or screamed from the hilltops about this theme? You know. Even with Cheetu boasting, Landon punches on him, moving with such speed, Knuckle remains confident, saying, "We'll use wit and experience." Fucking precisely. That is Hunter x Hunter. Because that's what's important. That's what determines victory, determines outcomes, experience, understanding, planning, wit. Arrogance is what kills. Arrogance is the slow, not so quiet killer. Slowly kills. Cheetu is arrogant. I can run faster and throw harder punches. Boy, that means nothing. He was reborn with Nen, so he really was practically born yesterday with an attitude like that. And the other line of, it doesn't matter what your power is, I just have to rip you apart. That line from Cheetu is precisely the kind of attitude that gets your ass killed in a Hunter x Hunter. This guy's going to die, I bet. This whole fight right in the beginning of the episode is a statement for Hunter x Hunter's entire combat philosophy. Morel and Knuckle don't need to catch up to Cheetu. They don't need to get faster, punch harder, because with their experience and intelligence, they know how to make his speed irrelevant. Knuckle is calm and he's confident. He understands if you can control what the opponent is thinking or what the opponent thinks is happening or going to happen, you can control their decisions and their choices. And if you can control or influence your foe's mind, if you can control or influence their decisions, you control the whole fight. Knuckles' ability confuses Cheetu, distracts him, takes his attention, emotionally compromises him by irritating him. Cheetu doesn't like to be unsure. Add to that Morel's smoke, which can create clones, decoys, illusions, not just take away sightlines, and most importantly, sow doubt in Cheetu's mind as it disorients him. Literally, only one punch between the two of them is needed to land for the fight to just be over. And I love that line from Knuckle. This trick won't work many times on the same opponent, but once is enough. Like, you just get the idea. Like, the imagination in my head at least, I'm just thinking about how the two of them, master and student, must have brainstormed this combo in the past as a perfect scheme, and how many other great ideas they've probably come up with together utilizing their abilities in tandem. Like a coach drawing up football plays, and this was their go-to. And Morel being able to create clones of Knuckle out of his, like, that was sick. Creating clones of Knuckle in his smoke, causing the enemy to just even for a second, because that's all you need in Hunter x Hunter combat. Causing the enemy, Cheetu, to hesitate, pause, freeze, whether, confusion or uncertainty, allowing Knuckle the time he needs to land that one hit on the opponent to trigger his bankruptcy ability. Perfect teamwork, perfect synergy. And the fight's effectively over. Morel did the environmental work. He changed the arena, affected the environment, altered their enemy's perception, which let the condition happen next to touch Cheetu just once, get one touch on him. And Morel set the stage for the student to deliver. And watching this fight all over again a second time while editing the video also made me change my attitude even more about Morel. And I understand he is a great teacher and mentor for both Knuckle and Shoot. Knuckle and Shoot don't want to kill. They don't even want to harm or hurt unless it's absolutely required of them. Morel's toolkit as a hunter and Nen user is the kind that teaches the two of them how to fight without being the strongest, without being the fastest, or without being the brutalist. If Shoot and Knuckle want to get the mission and the job done as quick as possible with the least amount of harm or damage, then they have to learn things like timing and deception and endurance and how to control the space around you. And Morel's perfect for that. How to be in control. Knuckles' toolkit as a Nen user is it's moral and it's mathematical. Rewarding restraint and punishing reckless engagement. We saw that with GON. In this fight, we see how Morel's smoke makes reckless engagement happen because Cheetu, he gets flustered and frustrated and discombobulated. He starts literally swinging at ghosts. Knuckles' ability makes Cheetu's recklessness expensive. Literally. Bankruptcy, APR, IRS. Cheetu's own impatience becomes the catalyst of his own defeat. That's what's fun. Cheetu defeats himself. And I think Morel is a great teacher with a great ability to teach this methodology. Victory is all about information and positioning. I just have to rip you apart. That's Cheetu's only idea. And Hunter x Hunter punishes and kills one-idea fighters. Cheetu is ego, and Morel is experience. Those two versus each other, we know who comes out on top. Whoever understands any given situation more, they get to decide what strength even is, what power even is, what victory is. And Cheetu runs off with the little APR Nen beast on his tail. So cool that it also acts as a GPS homing tracking beacon. All it takes is basic Zetsu. Again, super basic stuff because they've not taken the time to learn anything. It's all, again, ego. All it takes is basic-ass Zetsu to completely lose Cheetu. Hide in the cornfields, run it out of the smoke. Cheetu has no idea where they're at because he has to always be moving. He can't just stop, think, stop, calm down, sense the two of them. Again, he's an infant. He was born yesterday. And cut to the entire group back together. Boom, boom, boom. We go on to Shoot. We learn now what Shoot's birdcage is for and what it actually does. Hotel Rafflesia, if that's how you pronounce it. But kind of like / dark inn. Sickening. Once Shoot has dealt a certain amount of damage, he is able to trap body parts or entire bodies inside the birdcage locked up. So both Shoot and Knuckles' abilities are numerical based. Shoot dealt enough damage to Killua's face to take his eye. He dealt enough damage to Kite overall, his entire body, to place his whole self in the cage. He, like, the way I kind of imagine it, he took body part after body part until there was nothing left of him on the outside. His entire being went in the cage. Would have loved to see that fight between Shoot and Knuckle versus Kite. Again, would have loved to see that synergy. That's why I'm guessing, we definitely have to see Knuckle and Shoot fight together. Knuckle just has to land one hit on Kite for his ability to trigger, and then he has to evade attack, and he just has to play defense from there. While Shoot is the one who has to actively go on the attack for his ability to trigger. But the two of them both formed abilities that save the enemy's life at the end of the day. If the two of them fight together, Knuckle shuts down their opponent's aura nodes, rendering them harmless, forcing them into Zetsu. And until then, Shoot painlessly takes body parts away or the entire body and safely stows them inside his cage instead of having to kill the opponent. They're like philosophical brothers, moral brothers. They're siblings in this regard. They're nen both built to together be like a perfect pair of humane capture experts, humane hunters. Hotel Rafflesia, the hotel birdcage being the place he puts someone temporarily, hotel, giving them quarters, giving them lodging instead of killing them. A hotel room instead of death. And I looked up the word Rafflesia, and I had no idea it's a flower. A fucking huge and kind of ugly looking flower, I will say. Beautiful and disgusting at the same time. Like how Shoot's ability is both hospitable and merciful and horrifying at the same time. A prison, but sanctuary at the same time. Because you're trapped, but at least you're not dead. And again, I'm just impressed. Tagashi, brother, again, I'm just impressed that Tagashi knew about a parasitic flower like Rafflesia and somehow connected it symbolically to the character Shoot and his ability he created and named his ability after it, Hotel Rafflesia. Again, both Shoot and Knuckle's abilities save lives. Knuckle forces a Zetsu shutdown. Shoot shrinks and traps the body. They're both pretty damn violent, but is it an oxymoron to say ethical violence? Their abilities are designed specifically to end fights without death and even the least amount of blood on the floor possible. Again, tells you something about Morel as a teacher and something about the Hunter Association's image at its best. Hunters are not saints, but they're not killers either. The best hunters are fighters who can operate in a world where killing is commonplace and still choose tools that value life and allow restraint and prevent more death. I think that's a hunter at its best. That's the Hunter Association at its best. I think that's especially complicated and interesting in this arc, the Chimera Ant arc here, where we have the ever-present idea, episode after episode after episode, of personhood. The idea of personhood. It's kind of like front and center. And we have enemies on screen. We're watching our characters that we love fight these characters. And we think, should they die? Do I want them to die? These antagonists, should they be spared? Like Colt. And we have characters here with the capacity and the power to avoid killing even the worst, most evil antagonists. So I think this is really interesting territory here. Shoot said Kite can't use Nen, but he's still strong. That's scary. In life, when he was alive, Kite was a formidable, amazing Nen user, Nen master. In death, as this puppet object, the Nen is gone, but he's still strong and dangerous nonetheless. And I say the word scary because what remains is just raw strength, raw power, without Kite's skill, without any Kite left or present to control that strength or power. An analogy, or I guess another way to, like, the craftsman, the master wielding the weapon is gone. The craftsman is gone. It's just the swordsman is gone. It's just the weapon itself that's left. And I assume, see, I don't know. I assume Kite can't use Nen because of Knuckle, or Kite can't use Nen since he's technically dead and just a reanimated puppeteered corpse. So he wouldn't have Nen anymore. But I'm not sure. I don't know which way it goes. But then, let's talk about Kite some more. The artist formerly known as Prince. Here we have the puppet formerly known as Kite. And this is not Kite at all. Again, I just mentioned how this whole arc is exploring what personhood is. Kite, the person, is gone. This is just like the husk, the body. And the visuals I really loved here. Kite gritting his teeth, looking in pain and in suffering, almost like his mind is still acute internally, but he is not able to speak or control himself, trapped in this desecrated body. That's at least what it feels like and looks like, with his tortured face shaking, twitching, gritting his teeth. One of the things I love about Hunter x Hunter is it isn't one of those hope prevails, hope wins over all, hope wins over everything. It's not one of those type of stories. Kite is gone. And with Kite truly gone, the tragedy is real and tragedy is final. That happened. This is it. This is fact. GON has been chasing, and we've been following him chase, a rescue that is impossible. That we've known is impossible, that we know wasn't coming. Just anticipating him to realize the same. And here we are. There's no mercy. We can't recover. None of that, like, if you just believe or try hard enough. None of that stuff. This is a world where, like I said just a minute ago, this is a world where killing and death is commonplace, where loss is real and permanent. Not everybody has plot armor. Not everybody gets to live to the very last episode. This is a world where loss is real, loss is permanent, no bargaining. Like I said, I appreciate stories that aren't a hope always prevails, comfort food, comfort show, comfort story. Here, the body remains, and it's still strong, and it moves, and it can hit hard, and it looks like Kite, but it's not a person. GON is not facing his mentor. He's facing a shell, which leads to an amazing emotional function of this episode and this scene in this basement area, whatever the hell it is. GON is forced to confront the difference between grief and denial. In this scene, when they're standing, Kite, GON, is GON understanding and grieving in this scene, or is he still in denial about what could happen, what he can still do? Is GON punishing himself, or is he bargaining? If I take the hits, if I hug him, if I endure the pain, if I go through this penance, maybe the world can give Kite back somehow, some way. Or is he grieving and accepting? It's hard because grief is irrational and illogical on purpose because, that's, grief, right? Grudge and Dread. So perfect as a title for this Kite scene. In grieving, you can form both a grudge and dread. Both can take shape in someone. In GON can form a grudge, and GON can hold dread. GON, he steps forward to approach Kite, speaking to him, as if he also feels like Kite is in there somewhere. And he needs to apologize to him, and he needs to tell him it'll be okay. They'll fix him. They'll do him right. Knowing he can't use Nen to defend himself or absorb some of the blows, Kite also can't use Nen. So this is really just one of the most human interactions between the two of them between any two characters since that first time they ever meet. Chapter 1, Episode 0. Flesh against flesh. Just a man using his human strength against GON, who's taken those blows to his flesh and mere human body. No enhancement, no Ken, Ten, Ren, Ryu, purposely taking hit after hit as punishment in a way. I like the word I used a minute ago, penance. Or it's like a sick, twisted connection to Kite. The necessary consequences he must accept, the necessary blows he must take to get close to Kite. Even he remarks how Kite's punches hurt more, much more. This isn't Kite. And he's only been struck by Kite one other time in his whole life. He's basing this entire judgment on one other singular punch from Kite years ago that he still clearly remembers exactly. That one punch he recalls precisely how it felt to know that it isn't Kite who is standing in front of him right now. His little child self took a harder punch way back then, without any nen either than he is right now, more grown up, against a machine killer with no restraint. So that's also like a testament to Gon's strength as a little child several years ago in the very first chapter. It's just a very brutal scene because it's like, it's still intimate. There's still intimacy here, but it's like a brutal intimacy. In this scene, we have reunion with embrace, with apology, with violence. And there's no aura glow. There's no techniques or cool ability names. Nothing like that. It's just a kid letting his face and body take punishment so he can get close enough to say the words he thinks he owes Kite. Does Gon think he owes Kite pain because he believes he caused Kite's fate? Is he offering up his body as payment? Payback. Pay me back. It won't change anything. Outcomes already happen. But Gon's mind craves transaction in a way. We know Gon's mind. He needs things to be even. For fair trades, for even deals. Gon can't owe anyone anything. And so here, if he suffers enough, maybe it'll balance. If he takes the blows, he's settling his own sort of moral accounting. And Gon dodges Kite's next swing, showing and proving that he indeed did almost instantaneously learn and catch on to Puppet Kite's attack pattern. And he dodges so that he can go in and hug Kite. Apologize to him. Say it's his fault Kite is like this. Which Knuckle says has just triggered level 2. The puppeteer appears overhead. Of course, Gon can't see it, but Knuckle says only advanced techniques and abilities can subdue Kite now. So, Gon and Killua, get out of the way. Which means Shoot and Knuckle were still better than Kite. Even at level 2, they got him. Because both Knuckle and Shoot had to have touched Kite in order for both of their abilities to even trigger or work. So, they had to have triggered level 2 and to see this from him. And they still had advanced enough skills to take him down. And again, the visuals here. I talked about the visuals and the imagery of Kite's face. Now I have to talk about the visuals and the imagery of Gon's face. The facial expressions, the pain on his face. But in particularly, watching his face go from sadness to anger. Ugh. Whew. Gon announces he will take on Neferpitou himself. He doesn't have to be assigned any of the royal guards. He won't accept being assigned any of the other royal guards if it's not Neferpitou. So when they all split up to each take a royal guard, Morel already knew who Gon was taking. He didn't pick who Gon and Killua were taking on. Gon already decided, and Morel went along with it. Even Morel is on the boys' sides now, referring to them as 2 full-grown tigers. Killua, they know, is capable. But Morel believes in Gon. Consistently inconsistent, saving up his energy for his hated enemy, only unleashing himself when he must. He's talking about this about Gon. He believes in Gon. You know, big difference from their introduction when Morel came across his unconscious body laid out under that tree. Complete 180. And like I predicted, as was easily predictable, don't give me any credit here, Cheetu is puppeteering the dictator's body to keep up appearances as though he is still alive and well, using his body to do Meruem's bidding across the nation. So Cheetu can puppet more than one body at a time. And Meruem's bidding is to gather all the people of the nation together in one place, appropriately or not so appropriately, the meat plantation. Dear fucking God, this is where we are about to round up and separate the humans. But, closing out the discussion, the plaza scene. Boy, the plaza scene to end the episode, pure cinema. Morel doesn't comfort or validate Gon. We know Morel believes in Gon, but he demands proof. I love how Morel tells Gon, in order to fire him up, that he still isn't convinced. Show me. Like, triggering a match. I believe in you. Pfft. Gon doesn't need to be told that. Show me. Okay, now we're talking. Show me your resolve, he tells Gon. And Gon knows resolve now, what that is, because Kite told him just before they were separated and lost. Morel knows how to get that fire out of Gon. All that energy he knows and said has been sitting within Gon, waiting to come out. Just imagine me as the one who did that to Kite. And I love how Knuckle is the one in Gon's corner telling him, show him your Jajan, Ken. Everyone who has seen it or seen Gon build up his aura has been in awe. And Morel, he's about to be added to that list. Gon isn't motivated by the abstract. Gon is motivated by personal stakes, by loyalty, and most of all, just a clear target in front of him. Morel makes himself that target. Gon closes his eyes. Almost like when Morel says, show me, he hears Kite's voice behind the words instead. A flood of images, memories pass by in his mind. Not nostalgia, but like compressing them all into a single point of energy right in his fist, like Jajan can. Memories, the fuel. I love Hunter x Hunter because power is meaning. Power is intent. Power isn't just aura, chakra, chi. Think of the other shonen out there. Power is aura, yes, duh. It is Nen, it is aura, but power in Hunter x Hunter is meaning, intent, purpose. That's the whole reason behind like the vows and conditions and limitations and restrictions. That's like one of the coolest parts about this power system. Is the meaning, is the intent, is the purpose, are the sacrifices, are the restrictions, are the limitations, are the vows and conditions. Killing intent appears. It can be felt by everyone there. The ground cracks beneath him as he charges up his fist. Looks like the roof shingles are about to fly off. Sweat is dripping from everyone's brow, except for Killua. Morel is startled. Everyone's startled, afraid even. No one would want to approach or get near Gon in that moment, except for Killua. He walks up behind Gon, hand in pocket, unafraid, and reaches out to grab his shoulder and calm him down. Killua has a close relationship with Gon's darkness, just as Gon has one for Killua's. All the others are afraid of what they see and what they feel, because again, this whole combat system, Nen, Aura, what again I love about Hunter x Hunter, it's not just what you see, it's more so what you're feeling. They're afraid of what they're feeling, but Killua just feels his friend in front of him. Morel and everyone, they almost like see maybe Gon as a predator in this moment, a sudden unknown predator. Holy shit, what's going on? Especially because again, aren't Knuckle, Shoot, and Morel like beast hunters? But Killua has his hands in his pockets because, you know, to him it's just, I know you. I'm not afraid of you. You're my best friend. This is also huge, coming right after the needle removal episode. Earlier recent episodes, they were all about how Killua runs away. Killua's instinct to run or drag Gon away even with him. Now, he's totally unafraid. Nothing could trigger that flight or fight response now. Now he steps forward towards danger and he calms it. He isn't afraid. He calms the storm. Also, I feel like there's some imagery or what I like to call, I guess, like visual rhyming between the moment before Gon hugging Kite and here Killua touching Gon on the shoulder. Both very intimate acts and acts to calm. And, you know, Killua is not a hugger. Intimacy, physical touch, not him. So to even do something like this, that means a lot. That's the same level of intimacy to Killua as a hug is to Gon. Killua and Gon towards each other have been the only characters for one another who see and treat each other's power and rage and emotions, things like that, as things that they can help shepherd along instead of things to fear or avoid. That's why their friendship and partnership is so amazing. So just that episode ending with that shoulder grab, man, like you all were hyping up this episode leading into it and y'all weren't wrong, which makes me even more extra sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for going on holiday and New Year break for much longer than I wanted and planned, which made you guys wait for this episode for so damn long, like a month or two. But this was a fantastic episode. Y'all were right about telling me in the comments, oh, episode 95, you're going to love it. It's hype. It's so blah, 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 blah. You were right. But we can't stop. I got catching up to do. We got to move forward. We got to move on to the next episode. So this is where I'm going to end the discussion tonight. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button to let me know. Better yet, keep the conversation going down in the comments below. If you're interested in uncut, unedited reactions, check out my Patreon. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, until next time, farewell, have a good one.